Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Okay guys, we're going to be seeing a video today. This is titled Living with the Dark Winters in Sweden. Living with the Dark Winters in Sweden. Alright guys, I'm so excited to see this. Okay, please subscribe and let's get right into this.
My name is Jonna, and I live in the north of Sweden. Sweden is a country with a lot of light. And it's also a country with a lot of darkness. It all depends on what season it is. Just like many other countries in the Northern Hemisphere, there is a strong contrast in the light conditions between summer and winter. In the winter, it's dark almost all the time. And in the summer, it's light all the time. During the summer, in the very north of Sweden, the sun never sets between the end of May until the middle of July. So you can see the sun 24 hours a day, and that is called the midnight sun.
Really? Are you guys serious? Is this actually true? Because this sounds shocking to me. I mean, please let us know in the comment section if you've experienced this, if you're in Sweden and this is true. Please let us know in the comment section because this is really shocking. Oh wow.
And then, during the winter in the very north of Sweden, it's the opposite. For a couple of weeks, the sun never rises above the horizon, which means that there is no sunlight for about a month. And that is called the polar night. These extreme contrasts in light is caused by the rotation of the Earth in relation to the position of the sun. And the further north you go, the bigger the contrast. I live in the middle north of Sweden, and if I'm lucky and it's a clear sky, I can see the sun above the treetops for about an hour during the darkest time of the year. It's the middle of the day, and this is how high the sun goes up now. It's just a little bit over the horizon, or over the trees. But winters like this one, when it's been cloudy every day, I actually didn't see a glimpse of the sun for over a month. But just a few days ago, now in the beginning of January, I got to feel the sun on my face again. This is the first glimpse of the sun that we see in over a month.
Okay guys, I have a question. When there's no sun, how do people walk? Like, does it mean everybody's at home while there's no sun until the sun comes out before everyone goes to work? Like, I want to know, does everything stop working until when the sun comes out? I really would love to know how they are able to manage this situation. Please let us know in the comment section because I really want to know, okay?
Do you see this? And that feeling when you begin to feel the sunlight again in January is always overwhelming. It's like seeing the sun for the first time in your life. Even if it can be hard sometimes with these kinds of light conditions, I really love it and I would never want to change it. I think the light is never as beautiful as it is during these most extreme times of the year. When it's summer, I usually change my rhythm and stay up all nights and then sleep in the forenoon instead. The light is so beautiful in the middle of the night, and as a filmmaker and photographer, it's like a dream to be out and capture the beauty of the bright nights of June. And then in the winter, even if we don't get so much sunlight, we at least get a few hours of twilight during the day. And that light is the most beautiful kind of daylight that I know. It's like experiencing a long sunrise without a sun. And when it's a clear sky and the sun is rising just a tiny bit above the treetops, it spreads a soft and pink light all over the landscape. And that is beyond beautiful. Around 3 in the day, it's already getting dark, and it makes the evenings feel never-ending. But the darkness makes us see
I would
what is
definitely
never
love to
visible
experience
in the
this.
light. Because actually, we do get sunlight from thousands of suns far, far away. I live in a place where there's no light pollution, and the night sky is breathtaking. And for me, that is one of the reasons that I really love the winter here. And now and then, the sun sends us a greeting in the darkness. Particles from storms on the surface of the sun comes traveling towards the earth, colliding with our magnetic field and creating the Aurora Borealis, the northern lights that dances in the sky.
This is really cool.
I can never find the right words to describe how much I love to stand under the northern lights on a cold and dark winter night. I can take the darkness any day as long as I get to see the stars and the northern lights. It makes it all worth it. But even though there is so much beauty to find in these special kinds of light conditions that we have here in the north, I would lie if I said that it's always easy to live and adapt to them, because it's not. Well, the summer is easy. I don't think you can have too much light. The only thing that people often ask me is if it's harder to sleep when it's light all night. And for me personally, if I want to sleep during the night, I have no problem with that. And for those who do feel like it's a problem, it's easily fixed with some thick and dark curtains. But the winter and the darkness is definitely much more challenging, and I can only speak from my own experience now. The lack of sunlight makes me more tired, and during the darkest and coldest months, between November and March, I sometimes struggle to keep the energy up. It's harder to get up in the morning when it's dark outside. Our body naturally want to wake up with the sun. And in the afternoon, I often get confused with the time, since the darkness makes it feel like it's much later than it actually is. And the lack of daylight makes me struggle more as a filmmaker, since I only have 1 hour of good light to film in a day, compared to the 24-hour of good light in the summer. So the darkness, combined with the cold, make things a bit more challenging. And I know I'm not the only one struggling to keep up the energy during this time of the year. But of course, there is many things you can do to make the winters a little easier. I want to mention a few things that helps me adapt better to the lack of sunlight. For me personally, I think that the tiredness that I feel in the winter is the hardest part. The energy level is so low sometimes, and the cure to that is not always to sleep more. It can actually be to do the opposite. So I try my best to keep being active and moving my body as much as I can, and get as much daylight as possible. I go for long walks with my dog every day. And if the weather is good, I like to go out in the forest with my snowshoes and my camera, or go skiing. I also love to take ice baths. It's something I started doing a few years ago, combined with breathing exercises using the Wim Hof method, and it has become my favorite way of boosting myself with new energy when I need it the most. Going into that freezing water is actually the last thing that my body wants to do in that moment. but putting myself into that kind of discomfort is awakening something in me that helps me reset my body. Believe it or not, but cold swims and cold showers has many good health benefits. It's not for everyone, of course, and it's important to get knowledge before trying an ice bath if you have never done it before. But for me, it has been a great source of energy and joy during the winter time. So, I really feel a big difference in my energy levels in the winter when I move my body in some way. It doesn't need to be a full workout, but just something, a little every day, that makes you feel alive. When we can't get enough energy from the sun, I think it's even more important to make sure that we get enough energy and nutrition from our food. Nature has so much to give us in the summer that we can harvest and save for the winter when we need it the most. Here in the north, we have plenty of berries in the forest, so I like to pick tons of blueberries and lingonberries and put in the freezer so that we can eat berries and drink juice from berries every single day during the whole winter. I also like to pick different herbs that are good for our health and dry them to make my own tea for the winter. One of my favorite teas to drink when it's cold and dark outside is simply made out of birch leaves. I pick them just as they begin to bloom in the spring, while they are still small and light green. And the tea smells and tastes just like how it smells like in the spring. And in the middle of the winter, I think it feels so comforting to have a piece of the spring to remind you of the wonderful time to come when everything is blooming and the birds are singing again. And of course, I also take vitamin D supplements since we don't get anything from the sun in many months. Even though that would never replace the sun, I believe it can help a little bit. The list of things you can do to handle the darkness is endless. These were just to mention a few. But I think that the most important thing of all is to accept and adapt to the cycles of nature. I definitely feel a big difference in the energy during summer and winter, both in nature and in myself. And that doesn't mean that it's right or wrong, it's just different. I think the winter and the darkness can cause a lot of unnecessary suffering when we are trying to force ourselves to feel the same as we do in the summer. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel lack of inspiration, and it's okay to need more sleep and to let things slow down. A flower would never force itself to bloom in the cold winter. So why would we? This way of thinking changed my way of dealing with the different seasons. I love the winters just as much as I love the summers. They both have their own benefits and challenges. And I think it gets much easier when we let go and accept what we feel instead of fighting it, and accept the cycles in nature and the cycles in ourselves and learn to live with it, like a dance. So, this is how it is to live with the light and the darkness in the north of Sweden, from my perspective. The extreme contrasts in light also creates a bigger contrast to the seasons, and they all have their own beauty. I love the constantly changing seasons, and that you can see and feel how the light changes a little bit for every single day that goes by. The beautiful balance of light and darkness is my greatest source of inspiration, and it makes every day feel new and different.
is indeed beautiful to see. This is beautiful to watch. This is a place I would personally want to experience firsthand. Okay, I really would love to see how it feels when it's dark and how it feels when there's light in the darkness. Okay, this is so good to watch. All right, thank you guys for recommending this. If you have any suggestions, please drop them in the comment section. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.